Hi you guys, this is Allison coming at you from My Space 2 Craft, and I am doing another Easter-ish layout. This is, I have a ton of photos from an Easter egg hunt at my daughter's preschool way back in 2010. And I had pulled together a really fun page kit for this. Let me just show you some of the papers. So these are from Keller Creations, Myrtle Beach taffy. And I have 2 sheets of this stripe paper, 1 of this circle paper, 1 of this plaid. And then the back sides are all solids. To that, to make it a little more Eastery, the colors are very Easter, but I added this from Echo Park, My Favorite Easter, and it's bunny paper in blue, and it looks really good with this. So I have so many pictures. I have filtered a couple of pictures out. My daughter's in the background of this picture, so I decided to filter that one out. And here, nobody's looking at the camera and she's looking a little apprehensive, so I filtered that one out. But even with that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 photos. Well, that's kind of too much for a 2-page layout. And I have been wanting to show you guys a technique that I have done in the past, but I've never made a video of it because it's from before I had my channel. So I want to make a big flip flap on the side. So I'm going to, rather than inserting a page, an extra page protector, a 6x12 page protector here, the only drawback is it won't be in a page protector. But I don't mind that. I'm going to create an extension to the right-hand page using cardstock and round the corners a bit so it's easier, takes out a little bit of the bulk, but it's going to be almost 6 inches. I might try and just do 5.5 inches or 5 inches, depending on how I trim the photos that will go over there. And so I will create a flip flap. And since this is 2-sided cardstock, it works great. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have that panel, so let's just do a lot of panels of this different paper because this is a lot to have just stripes for 12 by 12. And so what I think I'm going to do is a 6-inch panel of stripes, and then I will have this for other things, backing some photos and things like that. And then a 6-inch panel of this, then another 6-inch panel of this, so that'll be in the center, and then a 6-inch panel of the stripes, which will really be the full 12 by 12 paper folded over like this. And then, just to enhance it and break up some of these stripes, I'm going to do some panels inside this side and this of the bunny paper. So I'll have 2 4 by 10 bunny panels here and here, and that'll help reinforce this and make it a little sturdier as well. So that is my plan. Right now, I don't think I'm going to matte all the photos in white. I may matte some of them in this green. That's the back side of this plaid paper. I may matte some in this plaid. And then I may matte some in the back side of this, which is the yellow. Though this yellow on yellow is not working really for me, but it may work. It will work over here for the yellow. I have also pulled out, just so I can maybe not just have plain seams. I've also pulled out a couple of different ribbons just to add more texture. This one has up and down lines. I'm not loving it, and it's a little more sagey than the green, this bright green that's in this paper, which is a little bit more of a lime, not neon, but a lime green. So I think that I'm going to use this pink. So where I have these seams, I think I will put a little ribbon. And then I may add little bows or knots or something at different parts of the ribbon, just to add interest. And then I have some ephemera already pulled and some super old Creative Memory stickers with eggs on them that coordinate close enough. And so I'm going to do that. And I may also even add this grass on a couple of sections. So I probably have close to 12 inches of this. So I may add that to this section and this section at the bottom, just for fun and to use them up. So that is my plan. I am going to build these papers on, I think I will go ahead and build them on white cardstock, though I may go find less heavy paper. I'm a little concerned about this flip flap and building it on not so heavy paper, but I also, that is a lot too thick cardstocks. So maybe this side I will do on thinner paper, and this side I may keep on the white cardstock just for reinforcement. We'll see. Nobody's gonna see it, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go off, cut off all my branding strips and cut 2 of these into 6x6. And then we will see where we land. So I've sped up most of the rest of this video until the very end because it did take a little while to put everything together and build the flap. So here I've come back and I've created the 6x6 panels. I've also cut the blue bunny paper into 4, I think they were 4.5 inch by 10.5 inch strips. And I did that so that they could, you know, fit inside and sit inside with a good margin in the panels. So I'm going to use a Kiwi Lane template to create the flip flap. I'm just explaining here that there's 2 ways to do it. I'm using a 12 by 12 paper. 6 inches of it is going to be glued to my base paper, and then I'm going to fold it over. A different way you can do it, and you can make this any width you want, is to just tape using red line tape or some really strong adhesive tape to the back of your paper and then flip it over. So you could make it an 8-inch flip flap if you wanted, or a 4-inch flip flap, or anything that you want. I happen to be using the a 12-inch piece of paper and simply folding it. At some point here I do this, and then I realized that when I was laying it down, I had the stripes going in the other direction. I want the stripes up and down as they were in panel 1. So I had to switch it. So I'm going to put my Kiwi Lane template down and just take a pencil and draw it. So I want this panel as big as I can get it because I know I want to fit 4x photos on it. And that 4.5 inch panel, I would like to go on it also. So I cut it as close to the edge as I could,
And you could use any template here, or you could leave it square and just round the corners. I would suggest doing something like rounding the corners or something like that, or use a bracket template. I've also used a half a circle and done it as a circle that flips over. Any of those work. So I've done this on the side because I use side loading page protectors. But if you have top loading page protectors, you can do this exact same thing. You just do it from the top or the bottom that you can flip open, and any of that will work. I did use my scoring board to get a good score on this. And so if I were doing the other method, I would take a good 1-inch flap and just tape it to the back and then have the flip over. So it just gives you, so I've got another really almost 12 by 12 piece of real estate to work with by doing this, 2 6 by 12 panels really, or close enough. So now I'm just working on ephemera. I did end up rounding, I think I rounded all the corners, including all the photos, I think. I can't remember now if I rounded everything. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm trying to position those photos so that they are hidden behind the flap, because it looks a little weird if you've got half a photo sticking out. So I just position them, and I'm trying to trim them down. Yes, so I've gone away and I've come back and I did round all the photos and the mats, and I just wanted it to have the same feel as those blue panels. And here I've started with the title. It wasn't my first choice for lettering. I had some other letters that were a little more childlike, but I was out of U's. So I had an H and an N and a T, but no U. So I was not able to use the other letters, but these ones are okay. So I've done my panels, and then I've added that ribbon. Now the bows that I put on the ribbon are not, they are fake. So I did the wrap of the ribbon, and then I tied a bow and then used glue dots to adhere them down. And then I just pinched the bottom ribbon together a little bit with another glue dot to make it look like it was scrunched up under the bow. And the other one, I did the same thing with a knot and just glued it, wrapped it, and then I tied a separate piece of ribbon with a knot around it. So here I'm using my Titletopia from Creative Memories to sort of space out the ready set words. And then I'm just trying to position this. That was a little, I wanted a little more space there, so I'm just scooting these letters down. They're pretty sticky. It's not like they're unsticky, but they move really well. That's one nice thing about Creative Memories is their stickers are really good. They're just the right amount of adhesive, that they're movable, but they hold when they need to. So here I have a little frame. I'm going to make a shaker box out of them, and I went to move that basket and I tore a little bit off that picture, so I'm going to have to move the shaker frame to that side because I damaged that paper a little bit. That's okay, it's not the end of the world. It's a fixable error. And then I'm just using some of the eggs from this old sticker sheet. And I will also use that grass across the center panels. I think it's the center panel. Yeah, the center panels that I use that on. So I'm just trying to get the positioning of everything. There's a tag. This is just all ephemera from the My Favorite Easter kit. That says what a perfect day or something like that. I don't end up using it. So I'm just trying to find homes for different ephemera pieces and trying to, you know, coordinate the colors, make sure there's some contrast in the colors. And I use a couple of the butterflies off here, so I use quite a bit. So here you can't quite see it. My picture frame's not perfect, but I'm putting some that grass border across the bottom, really just to use it up. It wasn't critical, but I wanted to use it, and it looks cute. So there's that one butterfly is too turquoise. I decided not to use it. I'm trying to find a home for this little banner with that Easter basket on it. I never did find a home for it. It was the right color yellow, but I couldn't find a place for it where it looked right. And that's okay. It'll go in my stash. That's the nice thing about Easter. It comes every year. So I'll have more pictures for next year to scrapbook. So this video is a little bit long. I think it's about 24 minutes total, but I'm really doing almost three pages essentially, though they're following this similar style. So here I'm just making a journal box. I didn't put any lines on it, but I've got that open space, and I did want a journal about the Easter egg hunt. I just want to be able to name some of the kids that are in some of the photos is what I really want to do with that before they're gone forever. And I think I end up matting that journal box as well, putting it on another piece of paper. Still trying to find a home for that banner. It's not going to happen. Just letting you know. I think I do find a home for that little bunny. So this is the hemming and hawing time period where I'm looking for homes for everything, trying to make sure everything is substantial enough. This is where I'm like, I think it needs a border. Let's put a border around it. This blue bunny paper was so cute. It just really made the page. It turned it from just pastels to Easter. And so I do border it. You can't tell but I do like giving that a little more substance. And then I have to make that shaker pocket. So I'm going to put green in the background instead of white, since it's going to be sitting on a white piece of ephemera. Oh, actually, no, I changed my mind and I did the plaid. Even though that I didn't use that plaid elsewhere on the page, but it is all the same colors. So if you haven't made a shaker box before, you use flat adhesive. I have used liquid glue before, but I always worry that it's going to smush out and smear on the acetate. So I do recommend this, just a flat tape for it. and that's to keep the acetate. I have to use my pokey tool because I have no nails. To put that, you put the acetate down first, so you have your frame, and then acetate, and then dimensional adhesive. So here I'm just cutting the acetate to size. Now comes the dimensional adhesive. Then you add, and the important thing on the dimensional adhesive is don't leave any gaps. If you have gaps, then your beads or your sequins or whatever will show through. And I use some sprinkles. Excuse me. I had some multicolored sprinkles. I did pull out one of the colors that I thought didn't match. There was a lot of purple in there, so I pulled the purple out because there was no purple on the page. I didn't pull it all out, but some of it. And then I added some little pink beads to it so it would have a mix of shapes in there. And then you take your little square that you cut, or if you're using die cuts, you take a duplicate of the die cut with the frame filled in, of course. And so here I'm just using a square. I'm going to just trim off the corners so they don't show. And you have a shaker pocket that you can put anywhere. So I thought that was a cute addition. So you can see there's a lot going on with this page. It did come out really cute though, and I'm really pleased with the ribbons. I have used ribbon before on a page, but I was glad to make this work. There's a lot of dead space at the top of that photo, so I didn't mind covering it up with that tag. And then I have a little frame that I'm going to add. It's really the top of that piece of ephemera. And then I'll add some, I think I add some wordy bits at the end to a couple of places. So I'm just thinking about what else I need to add. I pull out some wordy bits from, I think there's some Tim Holtz wordy bits that I looked at. I think I may have pulled a few from there. Just double checking the ephemera and looking for some wordy bits on here that I can pull. And there are a few on that sticker sheet. This is my favorite Easter sticker sheet. So just adding a few more layers to the areas of ephemera. And I think that I pulled a few little dots off at the end too. Not sure if that made it onto the video, but a few little odds and ends that are added just to add interest. All right, so here is my 2.5 page, well, 3-page layout. So in the album, it will look like this. And then you will be able to flip this over to this. And I think that came out pretty darn cute. I have not done enamel dots. I'm not sure I need to. Maybe I'll add some. We'll see. All right. Please, let's make sure these are all in. Please give this video a thumbs up, and
come back for more videos.